Welcome to Web Handling. My name is Dave Roysum. This is a continuation of our mini-series on safety. Accidents do happen, even when we seemingly do everything we can to prevent them. So in this clip, we very briefly discuss the chronology of a generic accident from injury to lawsuit. There are more than 5,000 on-the-job fatalities every year in the U.S. The number of lost time accidents may be 30 times that. It is very difficult to assess the cost to industry. At the very low end is the direct cost estimates of $60 billion every year in the U.S. However, the American Society of Safety Engineers estimates the real costs, including less tangible indirect costs, are 20% to 20 times higher. So, until accident rates reach negligible levels, we should plan for the worst by understanding the accident sequence beginning with the event itself. The procedures and best practices for response to an accident vary enormously in the some 5,000 web plants in the U.S. Small plants may only have the 911 number on speed dial. This may need to be a landline at each machine because cell phone coverage is spotty in many plants due to metal roofs and/or remote locations. Sometimes telephone codes are different than 911, so be sure you know what the codes are for each plant you walk into and make sure that they are posted at every phone and every station. Larger plants will have a well-practiced system in place that usually centers on two departments: first responders, if they have them, and the security gate. Security will manage the alarm codes, exit locations, and muster points. Most people who are first on the scene of an accident will not have emergency first aid training. In that case, the first person stays with the victim, but does not move them unless their location is in a risky location. In some cases, such as poisonous gas in a containment vessel, moving the victim from a hazard area can put oneself at risk. The second person will call for help and perhaps direct first responders to the accident location. Everyone else should stay clear. Once the victim is attended to, the next thing is to begin immediate documentation. This would include pictures of the area and witness statements. Witnesses should be interviewed separately so that the other people's statements do not color recall. Soon after a serious injury, you will get a visit from OSHA and your insurance company. They will do their own investigation, in addition to reviewing your safety procedures and accident documentation. If the injured files a personal injury lawsuit, then the investigation ramps up even more. This legal process is called discovery. Your plant will host a variety of experts from both sides who each have access to all evidence collected. Those named as defendants will often include the plant, the machine builders, and sometimes contractors or component suppliers. Each party will send one or more experts in addition to lawyers who mind and monitor the process. It is not unusual to have a meeting room full of visitors, and you must legally allow access for machine inspection. Note that experts are seldom allowed to talk to witnesses. This is done by lawyers taking depositions. The paperwork for depositions as well as discovery items will usually fill a full file cabinet, even in the most minor of personal injury lawsuits. The laws for liability are complicated, are different for each state, and are ever-changing. Strict liability does not necessarily require negligence, only that an injury occurred and that the injured was not mostly responsible. In general, the bar is quite high for suing your employer, usually requiring something like intent to harm. Thus, the machine builder is the common target, as they are the only party left that has any money to go after. The great majority of cases settle out of court. However, both sides must enter with the presumption that a trial might occur, and must therefore prepare accordingly. The settlement is a complicated negotiation between the lawyers based on the strength of their side's case, and the award may vary from $100,000 to $10 million for industrial accidents, depending on a variety of factors and calculations. Personal injury cases take time. Years, in fact. I have been involved in cases where both the injured and the defendant died before the case was settled with their estates. And again, the fine print. I am not a lawyer and have only a small amount of legal training. Furthermore, the web handling world is quite wide and circumstances can vary enormously. What I've given here is just a starter set of considerations. Take these, modify them, and add to them what might make even more safe sense for your own machine and your own plant. Be aware, be smart, and be safe, my friends. Thank you so very much for watching this module in my Plant Practical series. Let me know if you have any favorite best practices for safety, or any other subject you would like to hear about. Like and share if you found something interesting or useful.